Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777-300ER in tonight's flight from Zurich International Airport. We're going to be flying Zurich, Switzerland and Germany, and then coming back to the Zurich International Airport runway 14 for an ILS localizer landing. So now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation of the Boeing 777-300 ERX of the PMDG simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. So I'm gonna start showing you inside the cockpit the instruments and the displays of the Boeing 777-300 ER airliner. So I'm gonna start with the primary flight display. I will show you the airspeed indicated, the airspeed indicator, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the ground speed, the barometric altitude above the sea level, the barometric altitude setting of the outside atmosphere, the rate of climb descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds and thousands of feet per minute, the radio altitude, the magnetic heading and track, the angle of attack of the aircraft, the attitude indicator with the pitch ladder in decrease and the bank angle in decrease. Also, we have the ILS localizer crossbars and the flight director crossbars for manual guidance, and the autopilot crossbars in the attitude indicator of the primary flight display for automatic also guidance using the autopilot and flight director system panel. So I'm going to show you also the flight mode annunciator that displays the lateral and vertical navigation modes of the Boeing 777-300ER. I'm gonna show you also the navigation display. The navigation display illustrates the airport, the waypoints, the nav aids. We have the terrain reflections using the weather radar, also other aircraft flying around us using the transponder, the DSB and DSC. We have also the GPS position of the aircraft, the nautical miles radius, and we can set up a route using the flight management computer, a complete route with a departure, airport and a runway, intermediate waypoints, fixes for vertical and lateral navigation, and also a destination airport and a runway. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, to create a flight plan. I'm gonna show you also the autopilot and flight director system panel. I will show you, so we have about an hour and 10 minutes left. So I will show you also the autopilot and flight director system panel that displays, that contains the autopilot engage and disengage switches, the flight director engage and disengage switch, the auto throttle left and auto throttle right engage and disengage switches, the airspeed select knob for the airspeed guidance using the auto thrust system. We select an airspeed and we set the auto throttle on using the modes, the flight level change, the auto throttle with the speed mode, and the climb continues. So we have fixed thrust modes for climb, or like maximum continuous thrust, or for descent like idle thrust. And we have variable thrust for cruise and for approach and landing. We have also the LNAV and the VNAV. We have, which is of the flight management computer, the lateral and the vertical navigation guidance of the aircraft. We have the bank angle limit select knob, and also the heading select knob, the heading hold switch, the rate of climb descent of the aircraft using the cursor for the vertical rate of climb descent, and also we have the flight path angle and the vertical speed, the two modes for the vertical guidance of the aircraft. So we can select a vertical flight path angle in trigonometric degrees, or a rate of climb descent tens, hundreds and thousands of feet, and adjust this using the cursor up or down. So we have also the altitude select knob and the altitude hold switch. We have the VOR localizer for an ILS localizer approach, and also we have the autoland using the approach mode switch. So we have also the auto throttle I will show you the auto thrust and the thrust levers of the aircraft and how to use them in conjunction with all that. So as you can see here, here is the primary flight display with the flight mode annunciator, with the airspeed and the altitude. We have the navigation display. Over here, the upper and the lower ACA sends indication crew alert system, the flight management computer. We have the yoke of the Boeing 777, the control column and the control wheel of the aircraft. So as you can see here, we have the autopilot and flight director system panel that I just told you, explain you the modes. We have the upper and the lower ACA sends indication crew alert system displays. Also you can see here we have the thrust levers. We can increase the thrust using the thrust levers. You will see the indications here and some warnings. So maybe we don't have the time to complete the whole explanations tonight in tonight's flight, so I will do it in another flight. I'll just do as much as I can, show you all the systems and the overhead panel. I will show you the electrical, the hydraulic. We have the left and right engine drive and IGs, the great drive generators, the backup generators, the batteries, the APU start selector, and the flight control computers. And we have also the ADIRU, the Air Data Announcer reference unit, that we will explain you its function later. We have besides the hydraulics, we have the electronic engine control for the engine with the auto start system. The controls also the FAREX, the full authority electronic control computers. We have the fuel system, the left and right wing and the center tank, and the fuel, the forward and the aft pumps, and the crossfeed bars, the fuel jettison, the wing and engine at the ice, the cabin pressurization system, and also the bleed air from the left and right engine, the pressurizer. And from the APU, we use the APU pressurizer for starting the engines, and then we have the engines pressurizer mainly for wing and engine at the ice, hydraulic fluid pressurization, and also air conditioning and ventilation of the aircraft, and cabin pressurization and all this stuff. So I'll start showing you the systems. I will continue with the thrust levers. Explain you how to adjust the thrust for flying and for takeoff, climb, descent, approach flying, and also for the cruise part. I will show you also the yoke and how to use the flight controls, the rudder pedals. So I will start now. Thank you one more time for joining me in this flight. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying of the US Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER in tonight's flight. So after all this, I will make an engine start demonstration, set up the flight management computer, and then make a small flight for this section. So as you can see here, we have about so we have about an hour and 4 minutes for this flight, approximately, for this video. So because I'm video limited, so video time limited, so you can see here we have the primary flight display. I told you. You can see displays using the ADIRU system, the Air Data Announcer reference unit. Also in the overhead panel over here, it's the small switch. It can control all the systems. I will show you over here in the primary flight display, the navigation display. So the ADIRU is the Air Data Announcer reference unit, so it controls the airspeed indicator display using the pitot static and pitot dynamic tubes, the barometric pressure, altitude, also the magnetic heading and track. We have magnetic North Pole to North Pole, magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. we have the airspeed, minimum airspeed displayed right now is 30 knots. The airspeed selected from the autopilot inside the director system panel, the ground speed. You can see also the altitude here, this state of the barometric altitude using the barometric pressure of the outside atmosphere and the rate of climb descent of the aircraft. And we have the flight director here, this speed ladder in degrees, 2.5 degrees marks, and on the bank angle limit. We have the flight director on, the flight mode and zero, also with the lateral and vertical navigation modes of the airplane. So you can see magnetic heading and track here. So I will select different values now. I will show you, we have the navigation display here. You can see the airports, the waypoints. So I will show you here, we have the flight director on and off. The auto throttle left and right on and off. So you can see the auto throttle system here on and off in the auto throttle left. For instance, it displays this message here in the upper ACAS sends indication and crawler system. The auto throttle left is off, now it's on. Also we have the flight level change here. You can see this is the airspeed guidance of the airplane. So you can select nautical miles per hour, or you can either select like airspeed in Mach using this small switch, or you fly in a higher level like 18,000 feet. You have the LNAV, the VNAV, the climb continues, and the auto throttle. So you can disconnect this. You have to reset if you set the flight level change again. So I will set this airspeed for takeoff. So also I will gonna continue with a couple more things. We have the bank angle limit here of the aircraft. It's for the autopilot and flight director system panel. The degree setting, 136 degrees, heading or track. Other one. You can use the hold, also the vertical speed, climb and descent, flight path angle. You can select a negative or a plus, climb and descent in trigonometric angle in degrees. So if I said also this is the altitude here. This is the threshold to select this if you don't need that. So you can deselect by pressing this switch in. So I will hold flight level change. Also the altitude here, as you can see. You can select the other one. So you use this slider here for the vertical rate of climb descent. So it will display now here in the primary flight display, as you can see. Also in a nice view of the cockpit here for the Boeing 777. Much nicer view. So I will explain you most of the systems, whatever I can. The speed brakes, the flaps levers. So we have now about 15, 18, and maybe, yeah, about an hour left. So we have the flight level, the heading, hold, and you can see the airspeed here. We have changed 253 knots, nautical miles, 35,300. This bank, this speed ladder in degrees, and also 136 degrees of heading. So the aircraft will require this angle for takeoff and then for climb to this flight level with this airspeed using a fixed thrust possibly. So you can adjust the rate of climb and descent to change this how fast you want to climb and descend, and also adjust the airspeed. It will give you different values. So you can descend like this. We use this slider here, down and up. We have flight path angle now. You can see the flight path angle FPA now. Descend or climb, we use the plus. If we use the other side over here. So you have to be careful not to over climb or over descend the airplane. So this is a high rate of climb right now. You will see here displayed this mark 3.9 degrees. So I can also set the autopilot on with this switch here. You will see the autopilot on here, AP on, flight path angle, and the rest. So I will set a couple more things now. Flight level, we will set now the degrees, and now we will set the rate of climb descending 10,000 feet per minute. So I will set like a climb of 10,900 feet per minute with this airspeed, possibly. We will adjust maybe a higher thrust. We require a much higher thrust for using this rate of climb. So you will see now the pitch ladder here, 3,900 feet per minute here, the rate of climb descent, and the vertical rate of climb descent of the aircraft, this airspeed tape. So we have also, as I told you, the barometric setting here, start there inches, hectopascals, and the meters. You can display also meters besides the thousands of feet, so you'll have also meters and 7,700 meters for the climb, 436 meters here at this altitude, and 1013 hectopascal with this heading. So we'll set back to inches of mercury. So here we are again. Sorry for this break. So we have less time now, so we'll have to hurry up for this. So I will disconnect the autopilot like this if I push. So we'll have this warning, reconnect the autopilot again. So we have the AP on here displayed. So a couple more things you can do, flight level change again instead of this, and also the altitude hold. You can use either mode interchangeably, so it will give you different results. Also you can use this here, you can pull out this handle, autopilot disengage, so you will have autopilot and then flight director and the warning here, and here it displays autopilot disconnect with red letters, as you can see. So we reset again, do it one more time maybe for display, so you will see how it pops up all these warnings. So you have the autopilot disconnected like this with the red. So we engage the autopilot again, and we can use this switch here in the control wheel, disengage the autopilot again. cancel this warning. So we have about 50 minutes more left for this flight, for this video to end. So I will show you the flight controls also. As you can see, we have the autopilot disconnect. We have the horizontal tail trim, the horizontal tail of the aircraft. You can trim up and down, nose up and nose down. You can have the aileron trim position. Here we have the rudder pedals, so you can see. So this is the thrust levers. This is so much about the autopilot. You have also the vol localizer here, the switch and the approach for the auto-run function. You can see here we have, as I told you, the trim. We have the horizontal tail trim stabilizer here. You can trim up and down. You can see the degrees you need also for flying and for balancing the aircraft. The parking brakes on and off, up and down. The fuel flow. Cutout switches for the left and the right engine. The speed brakes here, up and down. Extend like this, retract. This is the horizontal tail of the aircraft trim position. You can use the normal and the alternate. And this is the horizontal tail trim cutout switches for the case you have a failure of the CNDR or DR hydraulic system failure. You can disconnect the auto trim function from the autopilot and the auto throttle system. So you will have only the manual trim for the horizontal tail of the aircraft, like this. You will trim like this using this switch here, up and down, or this lever here. So I will have to show you most of the things now inside the aircraft a little bit faster. So you can see we have the radio and communication panel here, the fire extinguishers, the left and the right engine, because we have the left and the right engine thrust levers also. I told you this is the auto thrust, the auto throttle switch. You can see the auto throttle information here also, with the engine information, with the FAREX. You can see also here. We have the navigation display. I forgot to mention. You can see the we have here is the Switzerland, here is France, here is Germany. So you can see these airports. You can set the range you desire, the heading in degrees 330, magnetic, and we have also magnetic or true. You can switch either one. You will see the compass change a little bit depending on where we are in the world. We have difference for true magnetic north reference. So we'll see the magnetic again. We can set other information here, and we can set you can see the terrain level 6,100 feet with red and 0 feet with green. We have also sea, lakes, rivers. You can see in front of you the mountains and the valleys and the terrain. So you can also set up flight management computer here. Later I will show you how to make a flight plan while we're gonna fly this airplane. You can set the flaps levers here. If I move the thrust levers forward, you will see the speed brakes retracts automatically. So we have this here, the engagement of the auto thrust system and the FAREX. The FAREX are the full authority electronic control computers. I will start explaining now. You can see the thrust required request from the thrust lever position. I can increase or decrease. You can see the pie chart here. This difference and the percent at 36%, exhaust gas temperature. So I will start explaining you right now about these things. So we have the auto throttle also. If I move forward the thrust levers, I will show you the flaps also. You can set the position of the flaps here using this, which is important later for the flight control section. You can see the flaps now are set at 30 degrees, are fully extended, the landing gear up and down here, the parking brakes, the outflow valves, the bleeder. So I will start to talk to you a little bit about we have not much time left, so I will show you also the overhead panel, the electrical system, the hydraulics, the fuel pumps, the bleeder, the pharex control, the electronic engine control for the engines. So we move the thrust levers, we request the thrust change. We have some warnings sometimes. So uh, when we move the thrust levers, we request the pharex the full authority digital electronic control computers, one installed per engine to a dual channel. Redundancy, if one channel fails, the other takes over. It controls and monitors all the information using the upper and the lower ACAS engine indication controller system display, like the N1. The N1 is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine. We have the General Electric G90 installed in this Boeing 777-300ER, one in the left wing and one in the right wing. We have two engines installed for symmetrical thrust and redundancy. So the exhaust gas temperature, the pharex control, the full authority, the electronic control computers, control monitor and display, the N1, which is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine, the low speed shaft of the turbofan turbojet engine, the exhaust gas temperature per engine, the outflow air pressure from the 5th and the 9th stage, bleed valves, also the N2, which is the high speed, high pressure turbine and compressor of the turbofan turbojet engine, the high speed shaft of the turbofan turbojet engine is the N2. So we have the oil pressure, oil quantity, oil temperature, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine, and we have the fuel flow per engine per hour in thousands of kilograms or in thousands of pounds. So when you move the thrust levers into a position, you request a given thrust to be produced to move the aircraft into the ground, then for takeoff, then for flying. You adjust the thrust as you desire for its setting as you need for flying, and also set the flaps and slats. So I will explain further now about it. So the flaps system. We have also the auto thrust disconnect switch. I will show you that the takeoff go on, the thrust reverse. So I will show you the upper and the lower ACAS, what they display right now and what they control using the pharex. The pharex, the full authority is electronic control computers that it also one installed per engine. Dual channel redundancy, one channel phase. So we have also control and monitor the engine start, engine shutdown, the fuel flow per engine, the over temperature, over speed of the engines, and also if we have another pressure inside the engines, they can close into a lower stage the outflow valves to increase the pressure inside the engine. We have an overpressure, we can open it into higher stage to release the pressurizer from the engine. So as we climb or descend the aircraft, the fuel flow changes because we have different air pressure and oxygen into higher levels than we have in the ground level or the sea level. So we have also different fuel flow into the engine, and also because of having higher airspeed, we have higher intake into a higher rate inside the engine. from the front fan stage for compression, and for mixing would be fuel. So this all this is done by the computer instead of doing this manually, like you do in the turboprop aircraft. So you do this using this automatically all the time. So it's a good thing having the fatics. So also now the thrust levers. We have about 30 more minutes for starting the engines, then for flying the aircraft. So another 18 minutes. We have about 48 minutes perhaps. So I will show you the thrust levers now, how to adjust the thrust. What they display over here, so you can see we have with the N1, which is the FADEX, the fluid reduce electronic control computers display and monitor and protect the engines and the functions. So you have the N1, which is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine, the low speed shaft of the engine. You can see the green 104.6% maximum continuous thrust. Also the takeoff thrust of the aircraft, the green and yellow, the red will never exceed the temperature of the exhaust gas temperature. Some other warnings here not related to the engine, the flaps, the total fuel on board. So we have the duct pressure from the engines. I can see the Boeing 777, the mark here of the aircraft, the N2, which is high speed, high pressure compressor, and turbine, the high speed shaft of the turbo engine, the fuel flow per engine per hour, thousands of kilograms or pounds right now, oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine. So if I press like this switch right here, so this is the takeoff go round switch. It will arm the takeoff go round. So we'll have the disengage the auto thrust like this, and move the thrust levers back to the idle. So we can use also like this. We can use the thrust reverse if we want to make a rejected takeoff, for instance, or we are just wanted. So you will see the reverse here. We have this fusion. The reverse is the autopilot is disconnected. Also, so you can see the thrust reverse has been open here, deployed to slow down the aircraft. Also, the speed brakes deploy. So you can see the blocker door from the stage. You can close it. You can engage it again. Reopen the thrust reverse. Also the other side, the front of the fans. You can close it. You can re-engage. Close and re-engage again one more time. So we go back inside. So we cancel again. We have the radar here, the weather and terrain radar. We have the transporter, the DSP and the DC, transmits, receives the other aircraft position, altitude, direction over here displayed in the navigation display for warning, for the TCAS warning, traffic collision alert system. The radar, the vertical stabilizer trim and the other one trim. The position you can monitor here, the radio communication panel. So this is most of it for this section. I will show you the overhead panel now. I believe I will talk to you a little bit about the flight theory of the airplane. So we have a few 20 more minutes for this. I will talk to you about the flight theory of the Boeing 777-300ER airliner right now, the one I'm flying right now in this video. So for this aircraft right now we have 254,000 kilograms of takeoff weight, which is way below the maximum takeoff weight, or 521,000 pounds. So we have 46,000 kilograms or 102,000 pounds of fuel on board, which is only 30% of the total fuel it can hold, which is way below the maximum takeoff weight again. And we have only 46,000 kilograms of passenger and cargo aboard, which is way below the maximum takeoff. So we're gonna have 521,000 pounds or 246,000 kilograms. We're gonna need to adjust the flaps to 15 degrees for takeoff and use 4 degrees of horizontal tail trim, 4 to 4.25 degrees. So we need to attain an airspeed of about 154 nautical miles per hour or knots, or about 270 kilometers an hour just for takeoff. In the runway, we need to overcome the stall speed of the aircraft. The stall speed of the aircraft is going to make the wing, the airfoils to stall for a given angle of attack. That is not going to allow the airfoil to produce the necessary lift force. The lift force is the force that overcomes the weight that is equal to the mass of the aircraft times the acceleration of the gravity. So the lift force is going to make the aircraft flyable and airborne into the air. And also the thrust from the engines that moves the aircraft forward overcomes the skin friction from the air. So these are the four main forces we use from physics for balancing the aircraft in flight. I'm gonna use the newtons per second and third law of kinematics of motion, and also the Bernoulli theory and some aeronautical and aerospace engineering to derive some interesting principles about the aircraft, about its wings, how they produce the lift, and also the thrust from the engines, how you can combine these two things to make the aircraft flyable into the air, and also controllable, having directional control of the aircraft, the controllability using the flight control, so using the control column and the control wheel and the rudder pedal. For steering, and also we use I'm gonna show you the tiller we use for the nozzle steering in the ground. So I will come here now in the outside view, as you can see, of the Boeing 777 300ER airplane. So as you can see here, we have a couple of things. You can see the wings. You can see the wings hold the total weight of the airplane. The surface area of the wings using the physics, Newton's physics and the Bernoulli theory. I'm gonna show you this couple of things. So the wings hold the total weight of the aircraft as the aircraft flies. It also produce a couple more things. We have the engines installed in the wings, the left and the right wing engine for symmetrical thrust, and also redundancy in flight. So as you can see, the wing, the airfoil of the aircraft is more flat from below, from the bottom surface, so the airflow as the air travels from the front, from the leading edge all the way back to the trailing edge, because the surface is more flat and we have the flaps extended down to create this kind of curvature. So we have the airflow is moving slower below the wing, so we have higher air pressure, we have positive pressure below the wing, which pressurizes the aircraft wings up into the air. So we also have the top surface, we have a higher curvature, it's more curved from the top. So as you can see, the airflow of the air mass from the leading edge all the way back to the trailing edge is moving much faster in the top surface of the wings. So we have much lower air pressure above the wings, so this creates an air suction that sucks the aircraft up into the air. Simultaneously, same way, pressurization below the wing and suction above the wing. So this creates the aerodynamic lift force from the wings, but the wings also hold the aircraft weight in total as the aircraft flies. So you divide the aircraft's weight mass over the surface area of the wings. So this is used for aeronautical and aerospace engineering. You also have other things. You can see we have the mean aerodynamic core position here, the 25% of the Mach, which is the position where the maximum aerodynamic lift is being produced. So the position where we set up the center of gravity of the aircraft for an airliner. We can shift the center of gravity forward or aft this position by moving passengers, cargo and fuel inside the aircraft, increase or decrease. So this is also the position of the stall is the maximum stall of the aircraft has been created, the 1G stall over here. So it's the position where the airflow detaches from the wing top surface, and we have the stall in there. So you need to avoid that. So I will show you a couple more things. We have this distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal tail. We have the moment arm. So from physics, we're gonna use the moment arm force. It's making the aircraft climb and descend. And also we can use turn left and turn right. So the moment arm here, you can turn left and right. This is the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal tail over the surface area of the horizontal tail. The surface area times the distance times the airflow of the air mass per second times the acceleration of gravity, and you have the moment arm that makes the aircraft climb and descend around its center of gravity in this vector from the nose all the way back to the horizontal tail, or the other one from the wingtip to the wingtip. So you have these vectors for physics calculations and for aeronautical and aerospace engineering. So you can have directional control like that using the horizontal tail moment arm, the lever arm, as you can see, climb and descend. Also turn left and turn right, and also bank roll left and right. So I'm gonna show you the flight controls now. How to use the flight controls for this principle. So we have a few more minutes. I will show you. Here we have, you can see this control column and yoke. You can climb and descend up and down and bank roll left and right, and also use the rudder pedals on the other side. So as you can see, I'm using this side stick here, the Logitech Spring 3D, which is quite reliable for this simulation, for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, and the PMDG simulation of the Boeing 737. Έλα.
Τι έγινε?
Θα φύγω τώρα στο
Θα
15 λεπτά.
να τα κάνεις ρε.
Θα φύγω τώρα, τελειώνω και φεύγω. So, we can adjust here the side stick position. We can adjust the flight controls of the aircraft. So you can climb and you can descend like that. So you can climb, you can descend, you can bank roll left, and you can bank roll right. You can steer the airplane in the air, and also use the rudder pedals. So you can see the side stick deflection, and it's proportional to the yoke deflection. Quite interestingly, so you can also hold neutral. You can adjust the horizontal tail trim stabilizer, and also adjust the thrust levers position like that, which also disconnects the speed brakes if you have them set to the idle, to the extend position. So I'm going to show you now the outside view of doing the same thing again. For the flight controls, as you can fly the aircraft into the air. So I'll show you the back side here. So we have a few more minutes left for this, so quite interestingly. So you can adjust the tail position here. As you can see, I'm moving the side stick. I can have the tail, the horizontal tail of the elevator, and the vertical tail the rudder, and also the elements to the spoilers to the left and the right wing. So you can pitch up and pitch down like this. You can climb, you can descend, you can bank roll left, you can bank roll right, hold neutral again, and also use the rudder pedals like this, and the horizontal tail trim. So again, it's proportional, the movement of the side stick and the flight controls, the yoke of the aircraft. So I'm coming now inside and show you the overhead panel, how to make the engine start demonstration instead of the flight management computer. So fine. So we have a few more minutes left for this flight, so I will try to be more fast this time. So I will show you what we have here. The overhead panel. I will show you this view here of the upper panel. You can see we have some switches here for maintenance in the ground. We have the circuit breakers. If some systems fail, you can see which system we have here and here. I will try to clear up the view, this side and this side. So we have the overhead panel here. I will come to this section. You can see some systems here again, like the thrust levers, the speed brakes. You can readjust everything, the fuel flow to the engines, the hydraulic. We have the horizontal tail trim stabilizer cut out for the auto trim system, normal and alternate trim. The flaps, I will set the flaps here to 15 degrees, as you can see, for takeoff. So I'll set them up when that's done. We will see 15 degrees of flaps. 5, 15. So here we are. We have the landing gear up and down, the alternate gear normal, auto brake again, the takeoff, some more switches. So I will show you the overhead panel and then come in the outside view of the airplane. So we have a few more minutes left for this flight. Unfortunately, maybe not all the time I need. So I will show you here. We have the left and the right engine integrated drive generators, left and the right engine IGGs, 120,000 kilovolts left and right engine installed inside the gearbox of the turbo 100 engine, or about 130,000 watts of 120 to 200 volts alternate current, 400 Hz frequency, 3-phase. You can convert some of this current to direct current using the transformer rectifier. We have the backup generators also 25,000 kilovolts, and we have the batteries 30 volts or 48 ampere hours. We can convert this current also into alternate using the static inverters. We have the APU. We're gonna use the APU now also to start the engine. We have flight control computers. We have the hydraulic system pumps inside the left and right engine, and also the pressurized from the big air from the engine. So I'll show you all these systems. Some of this is needed for starting the engines in the ground. So this is the IDG, the integrated drive generator disconnect switch. So I will start the APU, the auxiliary power unit. We have the primary flight control computers, thrust symmetry compensators on and off. The ADIR with the air data inertial reference unit that displays all this information that you see here, the inertial reference, the altitude of the aircraft using gyroscopic laser, gyroscope, the GPS receivers, some other stuff. We have the hydraulic systems here. So we have on and off like this. all these pumps you can turn on and off. Also you maybe in another side, the engine driving, window heat, passenger oxygen. This is the auto start here, normal and alternate, on and off. You can set on and off like this, the auto start. You can dump some fuel into the air fuel jettison system, arm and disarm. The nozzle will select the fuel level, and this is the left and the right wing fuel tanks, the crossfeed, on and off, the pressure. We have the wing and engine on the ice here, so I do left and the right wing hydraulic pumps, the air pressurized also. The auto, you can see the section, the window heat, the passenger oxygen. Let this in the normal for the auto start. We have the ice, we have the pressurization system here. We have a few more minutes. So this is auto or manual. So we have this warning. We use in the manual we use these outflow valves for climb and descent to open and close the outflow valves and also select the landing altitude. We have the pressurizer all set to off to show you all the systems, pressurizer system here. If I turn everything off, you will see the warnings here coming down. All the systems failing, bleeder, isolation, auto throttle disconnect. Also the hydraulic, we're gonna use hydraulic pressure also lost because of the pressurizer, and also we lose the pressurizer, the outflow valves here, the dot press is 0. So we have no cabin pressurization like this. If we lose the pressurizer from the left and the right engine or from the APU, I'm gonna show you a couple more stuff and then make the engine start demonstration. So I will come here. So we have a few more minutes to make the engine start demonstration. On and off displays the engine, so engine on, the status, you can see the APU is on, and the hydraulic pressure, the oxygen, the checklist, normal menu before start. What do you need to do before start for flying this airplane? Checklist, if we have something, a failure, communication, navigation, synoptics here, the doors. So the doors of the aircraft are closed and the cabin keeps pressurized. You can see the landing gear, the pressure inside the tires, and the temperature of the brakes, the electric system, the left and the right engine, the backup generators, the main voltage, batteries, and the APU generator here. It's on and driving. Second, power, bus tie, hydraulic, left and right engine, hydraulic pressure, also the backup generators. You can see where is the hydraulic fluid going right now inside the airplane. So we have 3000 psi. The left and the right engine, the primary, the electrical, the fuel system. Now we have the left wing and the right wing. The flow, you can see the green line is the flow to the engine. The total fuel on board. The crossfeed is on. The center tank is empty. Minimum fuel temperature, and the APU also is fed from the left wing tank with the DC pump. Here, this pump is on. We have the pressurized air from the left and the right engine. You can see the APU is on. Also, we use the pressurizer from the APU to start the engine, and also hydraulic air pressurization. So if I move the thrust levers forward, you will see the pressure from the engine increases, the dark pressure from the 5th and 9th stage. So I decrease the engine thrust. This is so much for the pressure from the engine. Flight controls, you can see the flight controls, the aircraft is the Boeing 787. Left and right wing, extend the speed brakes, and you can see if I move this around, I have to control also the other side. So you will see everything moving around here, also the rudder pedals down here. So you will see the movement Everything is working normally here. We find the airplane and the stabilizer same position. So we go back to the mode engine, and we go for an engine start demonstration. Then we have 18 more minutes. So we turn off both engines to the cutout switches. You will see both engines slow down here. We have the engine slow down, the message, and the N1 decreases because gas temperature. Then to the fuel flow also, and you will see from the outside view we're gonna have the slow down of the engines. Both engines slow down to the minimum because we have no spinning now. We go in the overhead panel, turn both auto start here, left wing and right wing engine on. So we have the auto start now. You're gonna see the pressure and one increases gas temperature because it admits pressurizer from the APU, and two also increases. You will see the spinning of the engine increase. So we have a higher rate. We can let the fuel flow to the engine like this, and power we go. We have the fuel flow from 0 left and right engine, and you have the N2 also. So you go with the engines. The spinners increase rapidly to 5,000 to 8,000 rotations per minute. Only one last small step left behind for before flying this airplane. So we have the menu, the FMC, the identity of the airplane. We have the position. This is the airport, Lszh reference airport, and the inertial position. Zero fuel weight calculations, the reserve automatically inserted or manually selected. Some manual, some automatically, also set from other systems like the autopilot. So we have the gross weight, the route from this airport back to this airport, LSVH, copy paste, and the runway 14 legs, departure, runway 14, 02 alpha, arrival, Lszh 14, Transnegro 1 alpha, Transamity. And you have the legs, you cancel the discontinuity of the legs, activate and execute the flight plan. The route only set the flaps to 15 degrees center of gravity, and you have center of gravity here 36% with 4 degrees, and the V1, V rotate, and V2 with this cross weight for this runway. Length, and we are ready for taxi into the runway and for takeoff. Disarm the parking brakes and advance the thrust levers a little bit, not too much, and use the steering wheel here. So we go. So we have about 15 more minutes for this flight. Not much time for everything. So use the parking brakes again. We have the runways open here. There is no traffic. Also, you can see this in the display. No traffic here. So align with the runway, and we have about 15 minutes left to go. Align like this. It's a long aircraft, so use the parking brakes again. And also you can monitor here everything is correct. The flight plan we have created, the airspeeds and the altitudes, also the LNAV set for the autopilot, the flaps, the advance, the thrust levers forward. We have the horizontal tail fin adjuster. So we have the N1. You can monitor the outside view. This is where we are right now and where we're going. So 15 more minutes left for this flight. So here we go. Move the thrust levers forward, disarm the parking brakes and go. So we advance. We have reached 100 knots. V1 is 133. We rotate. V2 and we take off. And here we go. You can see also the outside view of the same of the takeoff, of the rotation. So we have a positive rate. We can retract the landing gear. You can monitor here everything. You can see we are 600 feet above the ground level, but we are 2,600 feet above the sea level. So there is a difference, 1,500 feet above the ground, 2,000 feet above the sea. The airspeed 180 knots. The rate of climb here is very important, 7,000 feet, and the pitch about 35 degrees. You can see the stall speed now. So we have to decrease the rate of climb now. You can see like this with the stall speed of the airplane. You can start now steering around like this, and we have about about 12 more minutes for this video left, so we need to be faster now. Now we keep climbing and climbing. As you can see, adjust this course here. So now we have some overspeed. We need to increase the rate of climb a little bit, so we can turn and the pitch of the airplane. You can also decrease the airspeed, the thrust, to decrease the rate of climb or the pitch. So I will use the outside view now. Show you a little bit the outside view of the Boeing 777-300ER, where we are now. Here we find Switzerland, as you can see. Have this magnificent view, the airport also. So we fly with about 600 kilometers an hour or 250 meters per second. Hope you like this nice review of the Boeing 777-300ER. We keep flying through Switzerland here now. So we adjust everything and coming back to our course. Have not much time left. So have about 8 minutes left for this flight. 15,000 feet. I need to adjust the next waypoint to overcome into this flight. So we're gonna fly over have about 10 more minutes left for this flight. So we keep climbing. You can see the thrust adjusted here from the thrust levers. We had some overspeed warning here. So we're gonna fly over for a few more minutes. Maybe slow down the rate of climb. at least 32,000 feet. So we adjust the pitch stream like this, and also the attitude of the airplane. Now we have the automatic thrust set, 33,500 feet. We have the German in front of us, the Bayern Munich area, and the Bavaria. You can see. So I will retract the flaps now to increase the airspeed margin like this. And you can see we have the Bayern Munich, and we fly 24,300 feet. We have the magnificent these chemtrails and contrails, so you can see the frozen vapors from the airplane. As we fly near 24,600 feet, we are flying Switzerland of the St. Gallen Lake with about 700 kilometers an hour right now, or about 270 meters per second. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777-300ER. Now we have to move back into the airport. As we're moving back into the airport, steer manually, so you can see again the frozen vapors over here. I hope you like this view here of the Boeing 777. We're gonna fly with 900 kilometers an hour in a couple of seconds as we are flying this area. We go to 900 kilometers an hour, 300 meters a second, and we are 34,500 feet above the sea level right now. And we're shooting back into the airport. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777-300ER. So we need flying manually, so we are adjusted into our course. Only increase the airspeed a little bit here. You can also adjust the autopilot like this, autopilot on. So now we have the autopilot on connected. We can set a direct to course like that, direct to the airport. This last waypoint here, execute. So we have about 8 more minutes left for this flight. Here 35,000 over here 8, and we need to start descending in a couple of minutes. So we can see the chemtrails again. We have like 6 more minutes left for this flight. So this is our spacecraft now for tonight, the Boeing 777, and we're shooting back into the airport. And we have the Galaxy, and we fly with 900 kilometers an hour, 300 meters a second. So we have this nice view here. We descend automatically to the airport. We adjust the settings here for descent. Use the flight level changes to decrease the airspeed a little bit. The vertical speed, descend higher rate. This will adjust the autoflow system. And we have like 4 more minutes, I believe. For this video to end, so I will have to extend the landing gear and also decrease the airspeed a little bit more as we descend. Also use the VOR localizer and disarm the autopilot. Okay. Disarm the autopilot. Only fly manually now. Also use the flaps down into position as we descend here into the airport. As you can see, we are much closer now. 15,000 feet. Twelve thousand feet. 10,000 feet, keep descending. Have a few more minutes left to go. We need to trim down and also decrease the airspeed a little bit to the landing altitude setting for this airport, this runway. So we have the river in front of us. We have the Lszh localizer also. I'm gonna use like this view. We have some time for the landing as we keep coming closer into the ground, as you can see. So we have full control like this. We can adjust the airspeed like this manually, and we can also steer the airplane into position. So we have the Lszh localizer on right now. We have the manual thrust here. Also the rudder pedals work, so we can adjust the course. So we have 1,000 feet back to the normal simulation rate. So you can see we are just the Lszh localizer is on. So we are only a few more seconds to the landing. As you can see, flying manually. Decrease the airspeed now to thrust and use manual flight controls. Here we are. Then just touch down, parking brakes and reverse thrust. Reverse. And we stop the airplane into the ground. So you can see here we have everything is normal for this landing. You can see the nose wheel here. We have no breakage of the wheel or of the tires. Also over here there is no breakage of the tires or the landing gear. Whole aircraft, the whole structure of the aircraft is sound. As it should be, unlike some other people doing. So we have the landing gear here. You can see the nose wheel. We can use the airplane again for another flight quite normally. So we just landed in runway 14 over here in Switzerland. So I was Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777 tonight's flight. Thank you very much for watching one more time. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.